Hi, welcome back to our video series. Sharon here with Halpert Life Safety Consulting. You've joined us in the middle of a discussion about firestop submittals, and last time I initiated a challenge for you. How many of you took me up on the challenge? If you did, please let me know what happened. Today we're going to talk about what to do if they actually have a firestop submittal on site. For this discussion, we're going to look at a 5000 series detail. Do you remember what the 5000 series details are? That's right, it's insulated pipe. Specifically, we will look at CAJ5000. Because you know the nomenclature already, you automatically know that this detail is for a concrete or block, floor or wall, and an insulated pipe. So if you're thumbing through the details, it'll be easier for you to find this since you don't have to stop and look at the pictures and read through the systems. Let's walk through our firestop detail together, and for this discussion, let's say that our pipe is going through a 2-hour rated floor. This detail has a 2-hour F rating, so we know it's suitable. The T rating is a discussion for a whole different time, but feel free to call me if you have any questions. The firestop detail is like a checklist for us, and it unfolds the same way every time. Item number 1 is always going to identify the rated assembly and any requirements it may have. In this case, our concrete floor has to be a minimum of 4.5 inches thick. So if your project has 2-hour floors made of 2.5 inches of concrete over a metal deck, then we need a different detail. But wait, a 2-hour floor is a 2-hour floor, right? Wrong. This detail was tested with a 2-hour floor that was a minimum of 4.5 inches of concrete. So you could use it with an 8-inch floor, but not anything less than what's called out in the detail. This holds true when you talk about gypsum walls too. The A, B, and C designations must match the field conditions. Next up, in item number 2, it discusses the penetrating item, and in this case it lists 3 different types of metal pipes and is very specific on the size. Item number 3 says we have 1/2 to 2-inch glass fiber insulation. Again, if you have any other type of insulation, you'll need a different detail. Here we have 2 different types of insulation. Glass fiber on the left, and ABPVC on the right, which is that black rubber insulation that you may know as Armaflex. You cannot use this firestop detail with that type of insulation, or anything other than fiberglass. Be particularly careful with these types of insulation. The polyurethane has the same R value as the ABPVC, so your insulator may tell you that it's the same stuff, but the fire properties are not the same. This stuff is more like gasoline. The white insulation is on an HVAC line set. It's been showing up in our neck of the woods lately. There are some newer firestop details that can be used, but take a close look. If you see HVAC line sets with this material, the installation will likely require a firestop collar and will not be sufficient if you firestop it the way you see in this photo. As we keep going through our checklist, we see that our firestop detail requires mineral wool. If our floor is 4.5 inches thick, then when we look at the installation from the underside, the mineral wool needs to be flush with the bottom surface of the floor, or at least within 1/4 inch. Next, we see that the installer needs to use 1/4 inch of firestop in any space between the concrete and the pipe insulation. When the insulation physically touches the edge of the concrete, the installer needs to have a bead of sealant. I've explained this in past blog posts, so please check out the archives if you need to have this defined for you. Or, again, feel free to call me. The notes offer a few more parameters to abide by. Note number 2 talks about the annular space, the distance from the inside edge of the opening to the outside edge of the penetration. So if the annular space is 2 inches, you need a different detail. One thing I must mention is that when the detail allows annular space to be 0, it does not mean that you can have a 1-inch pipe with 1/2 inch insulation jammed into a 2-inch hole where the insulation touches all the way around. This is not okay. Again, if you don't understand this, please go back to our blog archives and read up on this, because this is important stuff. Thanks for spending some time with us and learning about the industry that I love. If we can help you with anything on a current project, please reach out to us. We're happy to help if we're able. And check out our blog archives. There's a lot of good stuff in there.